fine, Tara? Okay, so we are talking about today about sustainable health hacks. You can all take a seat. I'll take about 10 to 15 minutes on this topic, and then we can add something on our own. So I'm just going to break it down. Sustainable health means something that's long term, something that can be carried over for a long period. And hacks, well, I'll give you some hacks, but they really don't exist. Health is about continuous sustained effort. But I'll still give you one hack for each of the 5 factors of health, which is your training, sleep, nutrition, mindset, deep meaningful relationships, and I'll give you a bonus one in the end. So 6 of them I will talk about. Before we do that, I just had this graph which I'll just move it a little bit so that all of you can see it. So this is a graph where I plotted the health span on the y-axis and the lifespan on the x-axis. So what this represents is when we live sustainably with doing all the right things we'll discuss, this is what our graph looks like. So we are born somewhere here with good health, and at about, let's say about quarter or third through our lives, our health peaks. And then as we age, we go down. And this is where when the graph crosses here, game over. Okay? So that's ideally, this should look like boom, 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 enjoy great health, and a straight line down. That's what it should be, the graph looks like. But that's an ideal world, doesn't exist in reality. So what most people are living like, we start with good health, but bad habits, and we keep gradually going towards death, rather than having that sharp decline in health. I'll show you why that's not so conducive. And this one, the middle one, is we live our normal lives, and thanks to modern medicine, when we're close to death, it extends the death period a little bit, and then we crash again. So now let's take this point about 50% of our peak health. If we take this as a 50% of our peak health, and we draw a little graph here, now if you look at this, so this distance between how long we've stayed below 50% of our peak health. Here, that's quite considerable. Even with modern medicine, it's quite a considerable thing. But when we live by the right principles, it's very small. So that's what we're looking to do, is minimize this time we are spending under 50% of peak health. We don't want, what's the point of living if we are not living to our fullest? So this is what sustainable health means, living at your best time. We want to increase our health span, not our lifespan. But in doing well with a health span, automatically the lifespan also does increase. It's a natural takeaway. So that's what we want to do. Now we'll just talk about a few things, how we can do that. So, sustainable health, I'm talking about hacks, but there's actually no hack. It's a long, as I mentioned, it's a long concentrated effort. We can't just do one thing and boom, we are on this graph rather than this one. But every little matters. Every little we'll keep improving, keep growing. So as I said, for all the 5 points of health, training. So we'll start with training. One hack which I have for training, which I think is backed by science and research, is walking 10,000 steps every day. You know, you guys have the biggest hack. You have CrossFit. CrossFit is the biggest hack. It really is. There is no better hack in terms of training than functional movements constantly varied at high intensity, at relative high intensity. That is the biggest hack. But apart from that, sitting is smoking, is worse than smoking. It really is. What it does to your cardiovascular system, your lung capacity, it really is. They call sitting the new smoking. I do not know the exact research, but I think, if I'm not mistaken, sitting 1 hour consecutively will do as much damage as smoking one cigarette. It's how bad that is. Something like that, even worse probably. I'm being conservative. So try to get your 10,000 steps a day. So generally what I do is, it was very easy. When I was at the ashram, without making any effort, somehow I used to check my clock and it was 15,000, 17,000, 18,000. Because I was working outdoors in the fields, you're always on the move. Here, I check if I haven't done anything actively, it's about 4,000, 5,000, even on a good day. So I have to make an active effort. Like me and Rishabh found each other on the walk yesterday. I have to make that extra effort of going for. Then I came back, I checked 10,900 steps on the day. Said, okay, great job. So that's a hack you can use, you know, for training. Is make sure you're walking 10,000 steps. It comes around 8 kilometers generally. For me to do 10,000 steps, generally on the walk I do about 5,000 steps. It takes me about 40 minutes to do. Walk at a speed of about 6 kilometers an hour. I think that's my walking speed. Walking also helps as a very good active recovery tool. So if you have sore muscles, it really helps. Being outdoors really helps freshen the mind also. So that's your hack number 1 for training, which is 10,000 steps. Now for nutrition, what we can do for nutrition is, there's a little hack which I think works very well, especially to keep your glucose levels in store. Glucose levels are in store, there'll be less fat reserve. Is you start with veggies first. Means every meal you have, you start with a veggie starter. So have a big portion of veggies. It can be raw veggies, it can be steamed veggies, just only veggies. What that does is puts a lot of fiber in your gut, absorbs a lot of the glucose away. It negates the effect of glucose, the fiber. Also, it gives you it's slow to digest, so it gives you a feeling of being full. Next in your meal, take your protein. Again, does the same thing, slow digesting, also gives you the feeling of being full. Proteins can be anything from eggs to meat, dairy, tofu, anything you prefer. Lastly, in our meal, we take the starches and sugars, whatever is left. So that impact of the sugar, which is going to spike your insulin, is going to be neutralized by all the fiber that's already in there. And the protein is going to help keep you satiated and help with muscle recovery. So that's your hack number 2. Veggie first, protein second, starch and sugar last. So build your meal like that. Even if the portions are small, just build your meal like that. Some of you I've given the diets are built like that. Then for sleep, Nandini might give you a hack if she's had good sleep yesterday. Okay, she's been having gummy bears for sleep. Ask her what's in those gummy bears. How many did you pop yesterday? One only? Okay. But a good hack, it might not be a hack because hacks are supposed to be easy, right? This one might not be that easy. Put your phone away from your bedroom at least 2 hours before you sleep. You know, what happens is phones have blue lights in them. They do not let our melatonin produce. Melatonin is our sleep hormone. When it goes dark and cold, our body naturally produces the sleep hormone melatonin. But when we have our phones on, the blue light does not let tells us that it's bright daylight outside, does not let the melatonin produce. Also, when we are on the phone doing something, its brain's getting stimulated all the time. So it needs to go into a calm, restful state. So try reading something, a book, meditate, do something uh, in a darker environment. Spend time with your family. Yeah. No. Okay. The phone's better. The phone's got a larger family. The whole world's the family on the phone. So that's something we can do, is just put your phone away outside your bedroom. I used to put it in the washroom first. Now I have my study area where I leave the phone on most nights. Some weekend nights, I have the phone with me and I just put it and sleep with it. Mindset. A good hack for mindset. It's a very simple one. We all have it. It takes maybe 2 seconds to do, is smile. Every time you find yourself in a negative mood, just force yourself to smile. It does really help. What I've started incorporating in my routine is the moment I get up, I say good morning to myself, to the world, to everyone around it with a big smile. That sets off my day really well. At night, I try to do it. Somehow I have not been able to do it at night, but when I remember, I do it. But in the morning, it's become a very good routine. I'm not saying that my day goes absolutely smoothly, but I think smiling, of course, there are scientific backings for smiling as well. So it releases endorphins, which eases stress, and it's a pain reliever. Endorphins it's a pain reliever. So every time you smile, you reduce pain. So rather than popping a pill, you can smile. I promise you won't feel pain. Okay, so Jagsir, you can smile right now. Yeah, it's a good thing. Yeah, it's a pain reliever. Last one is how to hack your relationships. Very important, because if your relationships are poor, your mind goes. There were 2 hacks correlated, is communication. And what are the essence of good communication? Be a good listener. First thing is be a good listener. To be a good listener, it's not about I'm listening to you because I want to listen. I have to listen to you, but I want to listen to you sympathetically, and I'm not just waiting for my turn to make my point, but actually listening, understanding, and then giving your opinion. And the second thing about communication is, so just start listening and try to think before you speak. I know that's a little slightly difficult, but I think the listening part is easy hack. So just calmly, patiently listen and wait. If you start doing that, the other person will feel respected. And respect is the basis of trust, and trust is the basis of any relationship. So that's very important. Just listen. Even if you don't feel like, listen. Okay? Even if you don't agree, listen. And then calmly put your point that I don't agree. That's fine. But don't interrupt. When you interrupt a person, they feel, no good. So that's the 5. I'll give you a bonus one, which is actually a hack. God gave us this hack. It's a supplement which I really abide by. And yesterday I was researching. It's just not for physical well-being, but also for mental well-being. It works really well. It's the most researched, safest supplement. There has been its research for 2 decades, and the physical research been over only 2 centuries, and the and the physical benefits have been only studied over the last 2 or 3 decades. That supplement is creatine monohydrate. So creatine monohydrate, what it does is it helps bind ATP together, adenosine triphosphate. So it helps the phosphate molecules bond together into groups of 3. What ATP does, it is the energy currency of the body. Means that the cells use ATP to produce energy. When we are fatigued or tired, there is no ATP for the cells to produce. So creatine helps that. Also, I heard that it helps in Parkinson's disease, which is linked to depression. So it helps with that. and also with something like Alzheimer's and dementia. There are some researches for creatine helping with those cases. It was actually started, the clinical research was for that, and then slowly evolved into muscle building and recovery and energy. So creatine is a supplement, especially for people working out. They use a lot of energy. I think it's a great supplement to hack. I took it for maybe 8 years straight. Now I haven't taken it. Reading about the mental benefits, I said maybe I should start taking it again. Yes, so those are the 6 hacks, and that I'll repeat them again. For training, 10,000 steps. For nutrition, veggies first, protein second, starch and sugars last. For sleep, keep your blue light things away from your room at least 2 hours before you sleep. For your mindset, smile more. For your relationship, start listening with empathy and sympathy. And for your supplement, creatine monohydrate. And if you do all of these 6, you'll be probably on this graph with a shorter decline where you're living the last 30 years less under the 50% health span. Awesome. Anything anyone would like to add on that topic? I'm sure someone has a hack or something which they can share. Nandini, what's a sleep hack? Tell me what's a sleep hack. Please tell us. You can say it, stand up and say. What are the gummies? What gummies are you having? What drug is this? What is in the gummy? Tell me. Yeah. Chamomile. Okay. Did it work? Okay. So if you want gummies to sleep, Nandini has them. And if you want stronger stuff, then I can put you through touch with Rana. He has stronger stuff to sleep as well. Okay, have you got some for me? Yeah, for me also, so I'll give them a go. Anything, Rishabh? You've been struggling with your sleep with the baby. Any hack you develop? Sorry? Chalo, good. That's good. Maybe we should find hacks for your baby to sleep. Soumya, anything you do with your parents to improve your relationship? Huh? Sorry? You watch movies. Okay, so then no one has to speak. The movie can speak. Anything regarding mindset, Bintu, you do for improving your mindset? Holidays are great for improving mindset. How do you do that, my friend? I've been trying for many years. Yeah. Yes. I think doing the same thing every day helps. When your life goes up and down, routine really helps with the mindset. Yes. Yeah. I think routine changed my life, my mindset, started becoming happier. When I was in college, I used to wake up around 2 p.m. and I used to be unhappy from the moment I used to wake up. And I used to eat my mom's head. First thing, before eating food, I used to eat my mom's head and then eat food. So, just internally, I think I was so upset that my routine was so bad. I used to sleep when she used to start meditating at 5 a.m. and wake up when she used to have lunch already. So, even she didn't say anything, but inside you feel guilty about a bad routine. Yeah. Yeah. Well, Karanji, anything you would like to add? You are a great athlete of how you hack. Discipline? Discipline. Discipline is not a hack. That's the problem. Discipline requires a lot of effort. Meditation. That 4 to 5 weeks? Years. Good. My phone's kept. So I kept my phone in when I to like get addicted to it. I keep it in the locker. So it becomes very difficult. Who's going to put the code, open the locker, and yeah, yeah. Switch off is a good idea also, but I keep it in locker. Make it hard for myself to access it. Anything you do, Parika? You're out of sync. I think you smile a lot, so that's good. Okay. Anything else anyone would like to add on this? How to hack your health? Okay, those are not hacks. Those are very complicated subjects. So one thing, there's something that going on. I heard about this person. I'll share with you. His name is forget the name now, but he's on a mission to increase his lifespan. He wants to live long, and so he sold his company to Google for $800 million. Now he's just spending money on his health. So what he does is he does not eat after 11 a.m. like in the morning. So he eats, and what he does is takes plasma cells from his son and injects it himself. 18-year-old son injects to himself. So his room is also like a cave, soundproof, light proof. But I thought it was very extreme, very extreme. For his hair, he does some red light therapy in the morning first thing, and like he just eats between a 4 or 5 hour window. He has a $2 million a year routine. He has money to blow. But the good thing is he's sharing his routine with everyone. His diet, everything, it's online for everyone to have. So he's doing some crazy stuff. If you look at him, like he has some electric stimulations he gets into and stimulates the whole body with those. Just getting, I don't know what all that happens, because I was intrigued, but when I saw him, something about him was like, no, he's put too much effort in doing that. It should be more natural, it should be more flowing, which will be one of our next topics, which will be how to get into a flow state of mind. So yeah, so do check him out. Do you remember his name? How can I just recently? I'll share with you guys. Yeah, okay, never mind. Yeah, so he's injecting plasma of an 18-year-old into his body. So his skin is perfect, his hair is perfect. So any of you girls looking for perfect hair and skin, start injecting plasma, I guess. Yeah. But someone asked him, the interview asked him, and asked him, are you happy? Like living such a strict, he he doesn't go out with his friends or anything. So no social life after 4 o'clock or something. He has to be home by 4 o'clock so that he can prepare for his sleep at 8 o'clock. 4 hours he takes for preparing for sleep. Huh? Brian Johnson, yes, thank you, Brian Johnson. So someone asked him, are you happy? He said, I'm the happiest I've ever been in my life. He does exercise also. So please check him out, Brian Johnson. Quite a curious person. Let's see how long he lives. He's about in his 40s, to be very honest. His biological age, he's measured everything. He has like computers for measuring everything. So he's measured it, and his biological age is of an 18-year-old. Yeah, it is 18-year-old. So let's see how long he'll live. If he outlives all of us. Okay, that's a wrap, folks. Good work. And let's Brian Johnson.